I love rice. It's my favorite food of all times. Growing up in Lagos, Nigeria, my mom always made rice with different vegetables and different seasonings and ingredients. She always mixed it up in different ways. And that for me was just amazing. And I love to cook rice. And today I'm gonna be making for you some shrimp vegetable stew and steamed white rice, just the way my mom used to make it. So I have my rice cooking already. And while that is going, I'm gonna get started on this stew. I'm gonna turn on the stove. I always love to start a medium heat. That way the pot evenly heats up and we'll be ready to add. So while that is going on, I am going to season my shrimp, some salt, and I'm gonna do about half a teaspoon of Nigerian red pepper. And that should be okay. It's not gonna be too hot, and I'm just gonna massage my salt and my pepper into the shrimp. Okay. I'm gonna sit that there. I'm gonna wash my hands. All right, and then this should be ready for us. I'm gonna use about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm gonna saute my shrimp. I'm gonna turn this up a bit. Give that a little time to cook. About 3 to 4 minutes, it should be okay. So I think our rice is ready. It takes about 20 minutes to 25 minutes for the rice to be fully cooked. And the shrimp takes about 3 to 4 minutes. And just make sure you stir in it to make sure you get all of the shrimp in there and it's cooked well. It doesn't cook for long. And we're almost there. It looks great. All right, and I am going to scoop my shrimp out of my pot. It looks just perfect. Smells really good. And other things you could use in this recipe would be, you could use fish, you could use chicken, just whatever protein you feel comfortable using or you love to use. Works great. But my mom made it with shrimp. It's so great to have family recipes and traditions passed down. It's always great, brings back really good memories. And once we get our shrimp out, we still have a mixture of the olive oil and a bit of the shrimp stock. And that adds flavor to our stew when we add the chicken stock. They both go very well together. So now I'm going to add my onions. Add a half a cup of onions, and I have my tomatoes. I'm gonna stir that. I'm gonna let it cook for about a minute, just so that the tomato and the onions can combine together and cook very well and just mix up with the flavors from the shrimp. So I have all those flavors going in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put my tomato paste. I'm using a can of tomato paste, and that comes out to about 6 ounces or about 3 1/4 cup of tomato paste. And this helps It's tomato paste is like it serves like a glue that kind of binds everything together in the stew. Okay. I'm gonna stir that in. I'm gonna do about half a teaspoon of salt is good. And I will do half a teaspoon of Nigerian red pepper. I have Italian seasoning here, and this is where the fusion comes into play for this recipe. Using Nigerian peppers and using shrimp and using Italian seasoning in this recipe just gives it a kick. It takes it a whole different level, and you're going to love this. This Italian seasoning blend I have here is a mixture of thyme, sage, basil, savory, and it has a little bit of garlic in it. Just stirring that in, and I have my curry. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of curry. This is a half a teaspoon, so I'm going twice. Okay, and I have my oregano. I'm doing 1 teaspoon of that too. Okay, and I'm gonna stir that together. Essentially, when you're making these stews, tomato tends to have a lot of acidity in it, and the spices is basically base. They're base, and when you mix acid with base, it neutralizes it. Thanks, my chemistry class coming into play in the kitchen. But yeah, that works out pretty good. It kind of helps the flavors neutralize, and you get a good taste from your meals. It's not too acidic, it's not too sweet, it's just perfect. All right. All right. Next, I'm gonna add my chicken stock. And I'm stirring as I add that. This is homemade chicken stock. It's great in the stew. You can get chicken stock from the store. You can make yours at home. I highly recommend making it at home because you're able to vary the flavors while making it. For about 60 seconds, should be good. And we'll be ready to add our peppers and add our spinach and add our shrimp. We're ready to serve. All right, so our stew is looking very good. When you add the chicken stock to it, it might seem a little liquidy, and that's fine because you're going to be adding the spinach and the peppers and the shrimp, so it helps all the other ingredients help to create a very good consistency to your stew. So first I'm going to put in my red because it cooks the longest. Make sure, do that first. I'm gonna use my hands and put this in so I do not grab my yellows, because my yellows I want to go in last. Okay. And again, don't be afraid of experimenting with the peppers or using them because they're actually sweet. They add a sweet flavor and taste to your stew. It's not hot. So I know we Africans love spicy food, and it's really great when you add all those flavors in. It helps to reduce the heat in the stew. All right, now I'm going to put my yellow peppers last. Okay, works. This looks really good. This just takes me home. Takes me home. It's so good. My mom was really awesome in the kitchen, and it still is because she's still creating a lot of flavors. And I've been able to do the same for my family, for my husband and my kids. It's really exciting to have them sit around the table and eat and enjoy these foods. I am now going to put in my spinach. At this point, things go pretty fast because these ingredients don't take long to cook. They don't need a lot of heat. And you want to keep them as fresh as possible when you're done cooking. Okay. Now I'm going to stir, just gently stir to get my spinach submerged in the stew. Oh wow, look at the peppers. I get excited. Look at the peppers. You have really colorful stew here. You have your green, you have your yellow, you have your orange, you have your tomatoes, the red, different shades of red actually. Because you have the red peppers and then you have the tomato sauce. So it's really awesome. It looks great. It smells amazing. That's the other thing. The peppers add a flavor and a aroma to the stew that nothing else can. I'm telling you, you have to try this. This is just amazing. And when you sit this with the rice, oh, I bet you're hungry already. It's okay, you can admit. All right, that looks really good. And like I said, the spinach doesn't have to cook too long in the stew. I am going to go ahead and add my shrimp. Look at all that loveliness going in there. Perfect. Okay, and I'm going to turn this down a bit. Okay. Voila, this is amazing. This is amazing. I'm so excited. You can tell I love food, right? This is amazing. This is an awesome recipe. It fuses Nigerian red peppers, it fuses Italian seasonings, and just a whole lot of love in this pot of stew. There you go. And we're gonna let that, just gonna turn the heat down to low because I want to keep my vegetables as fresh as possible. I can dance right now, I'm telling you. I love it when things come together in the kitchen. It's just like science coming together. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna put just a tad bit of salt in here, just a little bit, just a little bit. Better to put a little bit in here than to put raw salt when you're eating, so it's okay. All right, that I have the right amount of peppers, I have the right amount of salt, I have the right amount of vegetables, and look at all that jumbo shrimp. Oh, this is amazing. The consistency is just perfect because it's not too liquidy, it's not too thick, it's just right. That's what you always want to get, just right. Perfect. I love it. And now we're gonna plate this so you can enjoy this meal with me. It's time to eat, my favorite time of all. So what we're gonna do here, I have the rice and I have my shrimp vegetable stew. So I'm gonna plate my food. And this is a great time to talk about portions. It's awesome to have a whole plate of meal in front of you, but it's also good to start small and you can always add on as you go. So that helps to reduce food waste and you're Also controlling your portion. Oh, wow. Look at all that. That is amazing. I'm going to just make sure you see that shrimp out there, because that's the money picture, right? And I love to have some peppers. I have my orange peppers, so you're able to visualize all your peppers in your plate. You see all the colors. I have my orange, I have my yellow, I have my red, I have some green. And that's just amazing. There you go. That is an amazing recipe. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time on Def's Kitchen, where everyone cooks.